Good evening, friends, and God bless you. Today I am going to read or discuss from the Old Testament. Have you ever heard of name Baruch? It may sound strange, unknown name, but if I tell you which book you will find it, you may recognize it. You will find Baruch in book of Jeremiah. And a Baruch is an interesting character in the Bible. He worked alongside with Jeremiah as a scribe. Jeremiah's ministry lasted from King Josiah to the last king of Judea, Zedekiah. And during these 40 years, 23 years of that years were of writing, and it was a job of scribes. And before we go in further, let us look at his name. His name is very significant. His full name is Baruch ben Neriah. Baruch means blessed. Ben usually in Hebrew is for son. Baruch ben Neriah means Baruch, who was the son of Neriah. And Neriah's meaning of Neriah in Hebrew is my candle is Yahweh. So his name is very beautiful. However, there is one thing about Baruch is he worked with Jeremiah, writing for 23 years. And this writing was not ordinary writing. And if I explain you the role of scribes, how they were writing, you would never want that kind of job. Let me tell you. They were scribes. Normally they were making copies of Torah, and whatever the prophets write there, ask them to write, they were writing it. They have to use only clean skin, animal skin to write. When they write, they have to say every word loud. Without pronouncing every word loud, they cannot write it. The scribe must wipe out his pen, and he must take a bath or wash his entire body whenever he writes the name of Holy God, Yahweh. Then as soon as he finished writing, the writing must be reviewed within 30 days. And if 3 pages of writing needs a correction, then the entire manuscripts will be scrapped. They have to start all over again. And the way they have to write, that 2 words cannot touch with each other. It was very, very hard, very, very descriptive job. If you have this kind of job description, you don't want this job. Baruch did this kind of writing for 23 years. And you know that he was writing for Jeremiah, who was pronouncing warning and sad news and warnings to people of Judea. And nobody was listening. Now, if you are writing something, you hope that somebody would listen. 23 years, no results, and a painful job. He was doing faithfully. Friends, God might have called you in a ministry and to do something, and you are at the verge of giving it up. But look, the results are in God's hands. You are called for a special purpose, special reason. There is someone out there who needs your hand, who needs your support. The another thing is, Baruch was very, very bold in following Jeremiah. That is a beautiful story if you read in Jeremiah chapter 32 to 36, and particularly if you read Jeremiah 36, there was a beautiful passage. So King Jehoiakim was a king of Judea. He hate Jeremiah because Jeremiah was proclaiming that Babylonian king of Babylon will come and he will destroy and he will conquer Jerusalem. He did not want to listen to them. So he prohibited Jeremiah from entering the temple. And to be a friend of king's enemy, it is a big risk. And friend, God might have called you to be his son and daughter. And you are walking in a very, very fine line. You may be afraid that by walking where God is calling you is costing you something. But think about that. The rewards is great. The present day affliction is nothing. Think about this way. When you are a little boy or girl, you might be afraid of something, but now you are grown up, and those things does not matter to you because they were in past, and now you are laughing. Why I was afraid for such a foolish thing? One day in heaven, when God will be putting a crown on your head, he will reward you for your faithfulness. Then you will look back on the life on earth that was sort of for a fraction for eternity. And you will be laughing why I was afraid on my life on earth. And in Jeremiah 36, it says that since Jeremiah cannot go to temple, he asked Baruch that can you go and read these warnings, this writing in the temple. It was a big risk. Baruch did not flinch. He went to temple and he boldly started reading that warnings. Now there was a young man named Micaiah was sitting on a second floor. You can read in this, everything is chapter 36. He listened it, what Baruch is reading. And then he went to his father and officials of the temple and said that, hey guys, listen what Baruch is reading. And they all called Baruch and said, bring your writing and read again. So they read again. And they discuss among themselves that this is a warning. They got so fearful. We got to go and tell King Jehoiakim. Now king was sitting by the fire by that time in outer court. So they all went there and king said, bring the writings. And when they started reading, the king Jehoiakim got so mad, he tore it down, the writing in pieces, and he threw it in the fire. And the other officials of the temple said that king, don't do that. He did not listen to them. He burned it. Friends, Baruch was faithful and standing firm in front of the king's wrath in supporting Jeremiah. It is not a small thing. And on top of that, Baruch, we call it a scribes. Bible called him a scribes. But he was from upper class. He was aristocrat society. He was from that society. His brother was official of King Zedekiah. And he has all the privileges. He can go to king's palace, he can go to temple. He has a privilege because he was coming from the high society. But for the sake of serving God, he gave up everything. He gave up everything. He did not think about it. For 23 years he was writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. He was faithful, my friend. I don't think that I would be able to do what Baruch did. But if you read the chapter 45 of Jeremiah, book of Jeremiah, the entire chapter is dedicated to Baruch. And the last verse of chapter 45, it says that Jehovah, God himself, tells Baruch. Because at this time, Baruch is so disappointed. Because he says that I was sorrowful and my grief has increased. Am I doing wrong by following God? Was it worth it? Now, God tells him specifically, wherever you will go, I will let you escape with your life. There might be destruction all around you. The king, mighty Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar is destroying everything. He burned down Jerusalem and everything. And he said that, Baruch, you are very precious to me. You are my child. Don't afraid. Wherever you will go, I'll let you escape with your life. Friends, there will be 1,000, Bible says that 1,000 people will die on your left or on your right. But the pain, suffering, death will not come to you. On the night of deliverance, the angel of death walked in entire Egypt. But whenever he comes to the house of Israelite, he saw the blood and he passed over. Me and you are living in a very, very turmoil world where wars and famine and so many scary places. We hear every day in and out. And you might be wondering, is it worth to be Christian? It is worth to be following my God. Friends, look, every child of God is very spacious in the sight of God. He is watching over you. He told Baruch, don't afraid. Your life will be spared. If God is sparing the life, God is going to provide everything for you. Look at the sparrow. Bible says that they don't store, they don't work, but your Father in heaven provides for them. The day Jesus died, not a single sparrow or a bird went hungry. God fed them in the morning. God took care of them. Friends, God is enough to meet all your needs. Just like Baruch. Follow him. And when you are despaired, you're afraid, it's okay. You can go to God and ask God, God, what is this? He's a loving Father. He will not shut his door on you. He will answer you. And his answer will be, I'll spare your life. I'll meet your need. I will heal you. I'll provide you. Because I am your daddy. God bless you and thank you.